Yes, welcome to the fourth edition of AI in Recruitment, the podcast series where we explore the exciting and rapidly evolving world of AI, as known as artificial intelligence in talent acquisition and recruitment. Together with Jasper Spanjaard, I, Martijn Hemminga, will dive into the beautiful world of AI.
As we've done for the previous 3 episodes, and we come bearing some exciting news. We've got a bit of a big announcement to make.
Yes.
Especially for listeners in the Benelux, the Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg area in the world. Given the major role of AI in our daily lives and indeed in recruitment, this year the AI in Recruitment Benelux Award 2023 will be awarded for the first time.
Yes.
And it'll be part of the Benelux Recruitment Tech Awards.
Yes. So we've done this since 2015, the Recruitment Tech Awards. And now we've got some addition. So the tool or case in which AI has been deployed most impactfully, according to the jury, they will win the first AI in Recruitment Award.
It's exciting. It sounds exciting.
Yeah, it is. So I'm curious. So everybody, you have to do with the regular competition we do. So just send in. You can check the if you use AI in your tool or in your case, then you explain what you do, and then you will be participating, and maybe you will be awarded with the Recruitment Tech Award.
The very first the AI.
The AI in Recruitment Benelux Award 2020.
I mean, we've called this thing. It's we're behind the name. So if we're messing up the name, but it's an interesting award, I think, and with the amount of AI tooling that we've covered extensively over the past few episodes, I'm curious to see all the sort of submissions that we get. And of course, Recruitment Tech launched this podcast that you're currently listening to, AI in Recruitment, and I think the price really fits in well with what we're trying to do currently and what's happening within the space of recruitment, particularly the technology side of it, of course. We'll have a European award hopefully in 2024.
Yeah.
So we'll focus on the Benelux for now, the area where we are established. And I'm curious to see where this thing goes.
Me too. I'm looking forward to all the tools and cases from vendors and users in the Benelux.
As am I.
Next year.
And next year, yeah.
Europe. So, okay, back to business. The last episode, the third we made was about AI and matching technology, where we pretty much asked the question, is there a match? It's just an interesting subject, especially because we just started a series of articles, not about the match, but about the mismatch.
Yep.
It's on the Dutch website.
It's currently on the Dutch website. Yeah. We've got a very experienced tech writer writing that for us. We'll have it translated into German and English as well. So, but yeah, it's interesting because is there a match? That's pretty much the question we raised, and since then we've spoken to so many people about the increasing role of AI in recruitment and within the industry and within the process, and particularly on the matching front. I think I spoke recently to Jan Govaerts of theMatchBox. So the match is in the name, so guess what they do. And we'll be publishing some of that AI in recruitment in-depth related content fairly soon. But I pretty much gathered a soundbite before we did this podcast with Jan, and I asked Jan, what he thought of sort of the hype around ChatGPT and AI currently, because you almost think to yourself, with the amount of tooling and with everything that's going on, is there a sense of frustration there from perhaps people who've been working on AI algorithms for years, and now everyone's doing it, and everyone's sort of got fear of missing out. And so I asked him about that, and here's that soundbite.
I think, first of all, maybe there's quite a few variations of AI.
Yeah.
AI is pretty old already, right? In different forms and different formats. You've got machine learning, you've got now ChatGPT, the generative AI. So all these flavors, and I don't think people really understand what is the use of all those different versions, right?
Yeah.
And I think that is a problem that needs to be sorted. and with like a how do you say, an open mind, right? It's not a Harry Potter-like magic wand that you can wave and all your problems are gone, right? No, AI needs to be used in a good way, carefully, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of things can go wrong as well with it. So that's what we look at the Matchbox. We use AI, but we keep a very critical eye on it. And we use it in the right place. Again, a bit about like football. We use it on the right spot on the pitch, right? Where do you use which version of AI? And where are you sticking to more traditional code of software, right? So that's how we look at it. Well,
Yes,
Interesting.
very interesting. And I love the magic wand, the Harry Potter thing, because and that's also the AI loop you're in. So
Yeah.
what I see, because as a preparation, I try to not read everything because it's impossible, but to read as much as possible, to watch as much as possible content about AI, ChatGPT. So and then if you click on that, you got more information, and because I like all the positive stuff, I got a lot of positive stuff, and people sometimes really think it's gonna solve all the problems we have.
Yeah.
Maybe in 50 years, but
Yeah.
not for the.
It's one of those, right? Because all companies are pretty much experiencing the same thing in a sort of talent shortage, and they're all looking for solutions. And here's this magic bit of technology that is going to solve so many things for them, like automatically, pretty much. And I think the danger that Jan describes is, I thought he described it very well. And I think it's a great comparison because, you know, I think that's the type of mentality that I would want from a company that I'm, you know, if they've got a service, then I'm interested in it, because you have to stay sort of even keeled, and you have to think to yourself, right, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's just look at all the applications that make sense and make sure that it's used in the right spot. And I think the football anecdote works, right? You know, are you going to use AI as your coach, as your manager for the entire team? And is he going to be your captain? Or is he just going to be, you know, your right winger who gives assists? Is he going to be the player that you bring on at halftime just to help you a little bit? Not per se the game changer, but impact, like a small impact sub, or I don't know. I think it's an interesting analogy, and
I think it's the assistant trainer,
that's a good one.
maybe. So
Yeah, not the manager, but the assistant coach. Yeah.
because there's still a lot of and I think this should be one of the topics for one of the following we do. It's about maybe about the data, sports data. I know there's lots of data in it being analyzed by AI. So I think it will also be with talent data analyzed by AI. So maybe that's something.
Yeah, and
for
it
one of
even
the next episodes.
it even sort of reminds me of you. Of course, you've got a few companies here in the Netherlands as well doing just sports analytics, and Brains First probably being the major one here. But it also just reminds me of Football Manager, the game I grew up playing, where there is an algorithm in that game predicting whether a player will be successful in the long run or not. And all you're trying to do is buy young players for cheap money who then turn out to be great players. And there's an algorithm, you know, backing that up. So it is interesting. Yeah, it's just there's probably worth spending another episode on.
Yeah. So what's also interesting, so if you think the voice of Jan was a little bit crappy, because that was Antwerp, they won the Belgian Cup.
Yeah, they won the Belgian Championship.
Yeah,
so the league.
The league. Yeah.
That he was apparently, I didn't know that about Jan, but apparently he's a massive football fan, and his voice was a bit squeaky, and because he had a few beers the night before because his team won the championship for the first time in years. Last minute goal as well, last minute winner.
Yes, so that's great. Congratulations, Jan. Okay, back to today's topic.
Yep.
Content.
So content. The first question that comes to mind is, when are you firing me?
we have a meeting after this.
It's my exit interview.
No, that's also the magic wand we just heard Jan speaking about. No, I think that the quality isn't that well enough. It's still, and that's it helps you.
Yeah.
And also we've got some tools at the end of the show about a writing assistant.
Yep.
I still think it's writing assistant. Of course, if quality isn't the thing you're going for, you can use it.
And that's what worries me from a content, because we'll get into the content for recruitment side of it. I'm just interested to give my take as a content producer and writer and journalist on this, because I read a story the other day about a journalist who basically said, right, I'll do all the interviews and the things I like doing as part of my job, but I'll get ChatGPT to write all the other shit for me, basically. And that's the articles she didn't love doing, all the sort of news bulletins, all the social media posts, and I thought to myself, is that really what we're gonna go for now? Is that really the type? Because she was a freelancer as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably wouldn't be interested in hiring her.
Does she tell her employers, the company she worked for, that she?
I mean, she had to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a bit torn.
Well, later on, I've got some examples because I think that's also about the source. The source, the information you have has to be reliable.
Yeah.
So so later on, I've got some example about how to use content you already made to make some short social media post from it. But I think, and that's what's happening now, is that you ask. We're talking now about ChatGPT because in Europe that's what we have to use, because the BART thing isn't open here yet.
Yeah.
There should be some workaround with. You can also watch TV in other countries with VPN. So maybe we should try that kind of stuff maybe in the future.
I've got a VPN lined up to watch Japanese baseball games, so it's
okay.
easy
So
transition for me.
we can try to look at how Google Bart works. But now we do a lot of ChatGPT, and it's great, it's amazing. But if you ask ChatGPT to write some content, you still have to check. Whether it's because there are no sources in it.
No, and when you ask it for sources, it doesn't really give you sources. It just sort of makes up things and numbers and quotes, and that's a tough one. Like if you just say, right, here's the input. Like say I've just done an interview and I put in the transcript, and I say to ChatGPT, right, turn this into an interview of 600 words to make sure it's readable. It'll do that, and it'll still sort of make some things up, at least in the free version that I'm using. But yeah, I don't know. I just struggle with it because I feel like, I'm not going to try to go too deep here, but I feel like it's part of a larger issue in storytelling and journalism that's been happening for a while now. I mean, 50 years ago, if you're a journalist, you're a very well-respected individual, right? You're paid quite well, quite handsomely. And yeah, it's just they were an important vehicle to get stories to people. And I was in Edinburgh 2 weeks ago or a week ago, can't even remember. And I was trying to look for magazines. I always used to go to the UK to buy a few magazines because I just love reading magazines. If I'm on the plane back, that's my go-to thing. I couldn't find any magazines. Tried the bookshops, tried like the stationery stores. None of them had magazines. Oh. And I thought to myself, how is this possible? Because you've got the English language, which is just, we're producing so much stuff, so many magazines still in print. Like you could make the argument, okay, yeah, you could do it online. For me, I want a physical magazine to read on the plane. Yeah,
well, I can understand. I maybe you have to look at the fashion part.
The fashion part,
yeah, with the fashion magazines.
Oh, the fashion magazines.
Because I really think, other discussion, but if I look at magazines for male,
Yeah.
It's also in the Netherlands. Less some sport, and that's it.
Yeah.
If you look for all the the fashion magazines, etc., my girlfriend loves the fashion magazines in Paris.
Okay.
So the in October we will go to the Unleash.
Yeah.
So then we can see a lot of magazines about fashion. Of course, Paris is the fashion city of the world still.
Mm-hmm.
So so I think that's something that depends on your interest. So
yeah,
maybe
it could
you're
be,
not.
but generally, I just wanted a sort of magazine. I was going to be fine with a gardener's world. I was going to be honestly, I just wanted something to read.
Yeah.
I just because I've got some books with me, but on the plane, it's just no concentration. So just short stories, and that's fine.
No.
But I feel like now, and the point I was trying to make is just like it feels like everything's turned into its own platform, and people don't really look at journalists as a sort of person to give them the news.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can just go online and look for it yourselves and sort of create your own bubble of information, and it's all free. And now we've got sort of AI machines generating and publishing texts and publishing books on Amazon. And I'm interested to see what AI is currently doing in the world of technology and changing the world. But I can see the end benefit, because we've got so many economies around the world that just they're aging so drastically that there won't be enough people for the jobs they need to be filled. But I'm not sure I want to read books or magazines written by AI.
Yeah,
that's my sort of issue with the content side of it.
Yeah, I think but maybe it's also because still at this time it's still very new.
Yeah.
And it will change because
is it just the Ghana hype? Is it just going a bit further than I don't know.
No, but if you got some suggestions from Google or LinkedIn, it's all AI in it.
Yeah.
So
True.
If you look at a nice movie on Netflix, for example, it's all AI in it. So it's sorted by AI, and I think, and that's also the link to content for recruitment.
Yeah.
It can help you. It's again the assistant, and that's also what you see at the vendors naming all the AI. Hey, they call it the writer assistant, the recruitment assistant, the sourcing assistant, because there's still a lot of human thinking. I think about the writing the right prompts, for example, in ChatGPT. We still need it. And I think not only as a journalist, but also as a recruiter, is, of course, maybe it can take over all the things you do. And I have to think about the Darwin saying, it's not the strongest that survives, but one who adopts.
Adaptable. You have to be adaptable.
You have to be adaptable.
That's why the cockroach has stayed alive for so long, because he's able to adapt.
They are adapting. So why are you?
Why am I the cockroach?
The cockroach.
No, but you should be the cockroach.
As a journalist?
Yeah, you should be the cockroach.
Yeah,
You should adapt. Of course, you should adapt. Like I'm not blind. If you've got technologies to help you save a bit of time and while still maintaining your same level of integrity, and the same applies for recruiters, right? If you've got a solution there that can help you filter CVs, and that's where we went with the last episode. Like, when is it becoming the thing that makes a decision rather than assisting? Yeah. Assisting is fine. I get assisting. Yeah. I mean, adapt or die.
Yeah.
Applies to any type of technology.
Yeah. Well, that's something we discussed last episode also, and we can discuss it every month because there will be European legislation about AI.
Yeah.
So. There are warnings on it. It's a high risk or low risk, and especially recruitment is in the high risk in this. But making content, I think.
I don't know, because it's not making decisions. It's not decisions. It's literally just information. Yeah. So I'm not sure what type of rules will.
I think it's low risk.
Probably will have to be.
Yeah. So low risk, but. The thing I'm also thinking about the fake news thing, but there will be AI who will control the news in the future, maybe when it's fake or not fake. So the AI is controlling AI.
Fucking hell.
So we can we can stop working.
Stop the planet. I want to get
we
off.
can stop. Okay. Today's topic is about content, and it's about content for recruitment. And we have to say, because if you look at recruitment, the first thing. If you mention content, you think about the job description, the job ads, the job ads, and especially the ones you find on your career site and on Indeed, etc. But that's something we want to speak about in another episode later this year, because in this kind of field, there's a lot of tooling already using it. But what we want to do is to talk about content for recruitment, like for your content for your career site, articles, but also social posts, and that kind of content.
And we asked our third co-host, ChatGPT himself or herself or itself, for sort of the main ways that AI is being used to produce content. And like Martijn said, we'll sort of forget about the job ads for now. But the first one would be content personalization, where AI algorithms pretty much can analyze candidate data and preferences to create personalized content for recruitment campaigns. So emails, the social media ads that we just spoke of, or sort of tailored landing pages to attract specific talent segments. And then there's something that we use, of course, as well, social media management. So AI-powered tools assist us in managing social media platforms by analyzing the engagement patterns and sort of suggesting optimal posting times. It seems very easy, but of course there's going to be an algorithm behind that. And they then sort of identify relevant content to share. So you could automate the entire thing. Like you could just say, right, here's content pieces, and AI will sort of look at times and dates and just publish it themselves.
Yeah. So what I did is I asked ChatGPT. I can put it on the screen. So I asked ChatGPT to write an article, 600 words. What are the pros and cons of having ChatGPT write articles about how recruiters can use software for their recruitment? And then I also asked short subtitles, etc., etc. So what's interesting is that so I asked a ChatGPT to write an article about ChatGPT being used, the cons and the pros, for writing content for recruiters. In the whole article, it doesn't speak about itself. So I asked ChatGPT to think about how can ChatGPT, what are the pros and cons of having ChatGPT write articles about how recruiters can use recruitment software. So it's a question a little bit, should I ask ChatGPT to write a question, or should I ask Jasper to do it? So that's what I ask. So if I ask you, ChatGPT, what do you think about it? And he leaves all the things about ChatGPT, he leaves it out. So I think this is also, Jasper, for you, a thing. ChatGPT isn't that good enough to reflect on itself, for example, but even not to listen to what I ask.
So I've still got a job.
You still got a job for
no, but I think
for this month.
Great.
No,
thanks for being a freelancer. No, but okay, that's interesting though. Obviously I've used it, and I didn't really pick up on that yet. So.
Well, and I like the article, and also I know because you mentioned. I don't think maybe it wasn't in the show, but offline. So you said something about how you can recognize all the articles written by ChatGPT because
I think I said it last month. Yeah,
because of the
conclusion,
the conclusion at the end, or the summary. So what I did, I asked ChatGPT to write a conclusion without naming the conclusion.
Without calling it a conclusion.
That works. So you can, if you put on the right. Prompt, and my prompt wasn't that good, maybe. So and then you can ask ChatGPT, why don't you tell something about the role of ChatGPT in journalism? So I like the way it's you can instruct ChatGPT to write an article.
Yeah.
But it isn't that it still isn't that good. But I think it misses some soul. So it's
soulless text.
yeah, it's a little informative. It's not. It's text.
It
but
is
it's
text.
not.
It's not a story.
Engaging or story.
Yeah, and that's where my argument comes in back, just straight back. Like, I wouldn't read a book written by ChatGPT because he's not going to make interesting characters for me. He's going to be really sort of blunt and basic, and if you're into that type of thing, sure.
Yeah. But how about? Do you think you have ever read Twitter messages without knowing it's written by an algorithm?
Of course, probably,
because
very likely, but it's short.
It's short.
The short form I can see.
So the short form, especially, and I know there are some tests, and I'm not a football fan or soccer fan. Football, soccer is in the UK, US.
Yeah.
Well, we've got US listeners.
Yeah.
So
howdy.
Yes. So there are already. I don't know. There are some tests. Maybe it's with some cup. You can see a game, and the voice-over
is AI.
AI.
Wasn't that Wimbledon?
Oh, it's Wimbledon. It's tennis.
Yeah.
No, it's not soccer.
It's not football or soccer. It's
soccer.
tennis.
It's tennis. It was tennis.
Yeah, Wimbledon. I read that story as well because I think we've got the same Google News searches going on.
Yeah, so that's I think that's we should test it.
I'm going to listen to it. Yeah, Wimbledon's going to be in a few weeks, isn't it? So I'll be interested to hear what that sounds like, and because I've always been, if we're going to get into the commentary side of it, I hate sports commentators because they sort of make you watch the game through their eyes, and of course you've got a few good ones, but generally they sort of take over. I much prefer the option to watch sports without any type of commentary. Yeah. So I'd be interested to see if I like AI commentary.
Okay. Maybe we should also start AI in sports.
Ooh, I'd be up for that. You just need to like sports then.
Yeah, okay. Not with me.
Not with you.
Not with me.
I'll find a co-host.
Yeah. Okay. Content production. So I think it's the short content what really helps writing content. So what I ask ChatGPT is write a social post.
Okay.
Of write 5 social posts of 100 words in which you tell why Volkswagen Group is a great employer for engineers.
Okay.
It's one. So that's one. It's not. I've got. We only have it in our text now.
Yeah.
So this is what you get. So you've got some emotions. You've got some hashtags in it. So I thought, okay, that's really nice. But then I thought, could we use it because it's a production tool. It's an assistant.
Yeah.
So you don't. You often ask an assistant to do a lot of the same things.
Yeah.
So I asked ChatGPT, can you write it? Can you write 5 posts? So the same. Let's put it on screen. So it's the same one. Write a series of 5 social posts of 100 words in which you tell why Volkswagen Group is a great employer for engineers. So then it starts with creating.
Oh, it even gives you emojis.
Hashtags at this time. So and it's nice because I did it twice the same. Twice the same prompt, and you've got some different outcome.
It's interesting. Volkswagen Group offers engineers amazing working conditions, flexible hours, and competitive benefits. Is that it's making that up, isn't it?
So this is the same question. I ask it again to do it, and then you got some different texts.
It's really interesting.
And I didn't check it, and that's the later on. I got some prompts for the about Coca-Cola, and then what I did, and I used the paid version, and then you can use Bing to connect, and then ChatGPT searches on Bing, visits a page, extract the information to write a post. This is everything what ChatGPT learns until 2021. There's some specific date, and then he uses all the data before.
But it's literally making up fake quotes from fake employees.
Yeah,
that's just
it is. And I didn't ask.
You didn't ask for that
For quotes.
No,
he made quotes of it.
And that's what we just spoke about. Like it's pretending to make up quotes. Now, work-life balance, check. Great benefits, check. A culture of respect and appreciation, check. Volkswagen Group takes great care of its employees.
Yeah. And that's
remarkable.
That's something I really think about. If you look at the text, you can edit, replace almost every company which has engineers. For the Volkswagen Group, you can mention, it says automotive technology, so sometimes it's more specific. But I think the text, it's a little bit corporate, blah blah, one size fits all text.
No, it is
edit, replace text.
It is
at this moment.
Literally that. It isn't anywhere anything but generic. It's just generic content, generic quotes from generic employees, and so you could even then ask any form of AI to produce a picture of an employee who says that, who will be again very basic, like basic white guy engineer.
But what I think about this, and this is for I do a lot of training, also recruiters, especially on recruitment marketing and employer branding.
Yeah,
and then a lot of people say, Martijn, I don't know what should I write. So I tell them not only to post job vacancies, because a lot of people on the job market isn't actively seeking for jobs. So
no, not at all.
So what do you do for? What do you offer passive people on the labor market? So what do you offer them for content without selling a job to them? And then they say, I don't know what to tell. And in this kind of ways, if you only post vacancies automatically from your applicant tracking system, and not making any normal content, posting it to the world, I should say this isn't that bad. It's better to use this kind of not that deep content than doing nothing to reach passive and also active searches, because active searches, people on the labor market are also looking for information that helps them to identify the right employer.
Yeah, and again, I think it sort of boils down to the point is, what do you feed the machine? So if you feed the machine with some interesting information and you think, right, actually, I think this is pretty much an interesting social media post, but I'm not sure how to phrase it, or I'm not sure which emoticon to use. And sure, that's a helpful tool.
Yeah.
But again, it's an assistant, so that's good.
It's good. Hey, I hear something, an alarm or something.
Is it AI?
Yes. It's the AI news. Oh yes, here we are with AI news. So Jasper, what's your news?
So my news is one of the godfathers of AI, who won the 2018 Turing Award for their AI related work. I forgot to mention the guy's name. Geoffrey Hinton is his name. He is the great-grandson of Marie Everest Bull and George Bull, and he revealed in an interview with the New York Times that he left Google after a decade with the company. And the reason he mentioned is the conflict of interest caused by his status as the Google employee and his desire to speak about the risks of AI. I think that's pretty interesting. So although he was involved in AI-related research for a significant part of his life, and he's considered a godfather of AI, he was also concerned about the negative impact that his work could have on mankind. So earlier he posted a message on Twitter, saying, like, announcing the New York Times article, saying, right, he in the New York Times today, the writer of the article implies that I left Google so that I could criticize Google, but actually I left so I could talk about the dangers of AI without considering how this impacts Google, and Google has acted very responsibly. So that feels like pretty much like mustard after the meal, but. It's interesting. It's very interesting that someone would come out and say that, I think.
I think it's important working at a company, you can say something because it helps to make your product better
Yep.
if you not only have. Are you to say that? Yes, nodders or
Yes, nodders.
Yeah?
People
yes, nodders?
I think there's another phrase.
It's
for that.
ja-knikkers in Dutch, but yeah, but everything say, oh yeah, it's perfect,
Yeah,
perfect.
perfect, yeah.
I think it's good. Also,
No, this mentality is perfect.
Yeah.
But I'm annoyed that he's left Google.
yeah,
Because that's the type of person you'd obviously want. Because it's fine that
board.
you believe in AI, but again, you have to, like Jan said before, where are you using it?
Yeah.
How are you using it? So I thought it was interesting news, but hopefully, don't be real, remain critical, because I think we need people who's come out and say, right, actually, I don't know if this is better for mankind.
it is. And I've got some news. It's content related. So it's about AI learning from AI instead of AI learning from what we as humans already made. Because what happens once AI uses its own generated result to continue learning, and your phone is ringing when you're having a podcast interview. So let's go back to the news. So
Shall I redo the jingle?
yes,
You want me to redo?
give me the jingle.
Okay.
Jimmy, give me the jingle.
News.
Yes. So my news is about AI learning from other AI, and what does it mean for the quality? Because what happens once AI uses its own generated result to continue learning? Nothing good, warned Professor of Computer Science Feline Hermans at the Vrije Universiteit Amsterdam and tech expert Bert Hubert. As we use AI without inhibition, much of the internet is starting to become polluted with mis- and disinformation. It will soon be impossible for us humans to determine whether something is correct or not. So that's something we already discussed about. How about the quality or the fake news?
Yeah.
If there is fake news and the AI thinks it's good news, and the AI starts the source is fake news, and he starts making his own more faker news than it already was. I don't know what would be the outcome.
Yeah, more fake news, and that worries me.
No,
Let's
well,
just bluntly put, that really worries me, because if you feed a machine with more bad information, it's producing more bad information. Based on that information, you're just sort of creating a sort of loophole of shit, essentially. And if the AI feeds on that, then it gets worse and worse and worse. So, yeah, let's not go down that rabbit hole, please.
Okay, let's have some drinks, something like a Coca-Cola when we're drinking
that'd be
water
nice.
at this time.
Yeah, we don't have.
So this was the end of AI news. What's great? I've got the paid version of ChatGPT. You're a poor journalist, so
I'm a poor journalist. Yeah,
you're using the free version.
Yeah.
But what's interesting, for a couple of time now, you can connect the 4 version of GPT-4.
Yeah.
And you can say, I want to have it linked to the web browser, and then it uses.
So it uses the
Bing.
information on that page.
Yeah. So I think it isn't. You ask ChatGPT to go to Bing to search.
Yeah.
Via Bing the information. So okay. So what I did is I used a webpage from the Coca-Cola company.
Yeah.
And the prompt to write 3 different social posts with 50 words about the benefits of working at Coca-Cola with information from the specific website. So So this is what you can see it on the screen. So I pointed. Then what you see is
it's browsing the web.
Browsing the web.
I've not seen that obviously with my free poor version of it.
Yeah. So he clicked on a link. So it's a little bit. It's reading the content. Finish browsing.
Yeah.
And then
it's producing information
in 10 seconds. He makes 3 social posts with hashtags, but without the small pictures.
Without any form of pictures.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That's interesting.
The interesting
Again.
thing about this is, so if you have, for example, you have some nice information, an article, or you have a page on your career site telling about what it is to work at your company, or these are the benefits, or and then you want to make a summary or some social post of it, or a short intro text of it. Well, I think this is very usable, especially because you know what the source is, because
the source is good.
The source is good, so the quality, you know that the quality of content is okay. Instead of generating a blah 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 text, as what we've seen before when we
that's a game changer, I think.
Yeah. And it's
those poor social media marketeers.
It's active content, of actual content.
Actual content,
because it's not the normal version of ChatGPT is working with data until 2021.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of it sort of boggles my mind, because now we've got people doing marketing jobs who are doing exactly that.
Yeah.
They task with, right, here's a website, make up 3 social posts.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'll get AI to do it.
Yeah.
Because I know the content's good.
It is.
I can see that, like for shorter content.
Because if you look at your job, writing content for us and other companies, so the interesting thing is the main article, not the. I know
the article's the work, right? Yeah, and everything, you're just copying the intro into LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook, and we do it through co-schedule. If that could be done automatically, I'd be up for it, because that's not the interesting part of the job.
What would be perfect being automatically is the mentions of people.
Oh, if they
especially
could,
if you have to mention a lot of people and companies in it,
if they can
that would be perfect.
If they can sort the tags automatically, that would save us a lot of time in a year.
Yeah,
and that's a task. Like, honestly, it's part of the job, because you need your content to be distributed properly, and in order to do that, you need to tag the right companies and the right people. But if that could be done automatically, I'd be up for it straight away.
Yeah,
it's a waste of time.
So I can really advise people who wants to use ChatGPT for making content, and especially short content like social media posts, etc. And use the paid version, so you can.
Don't use my poor version. Use the paid version.
Use the paid version. It's
how much is that?
20.
I don't know.
$20, I think,
per
month.
$20 per month.
I thought it, but.
And is that just?
It's been a couple of months. It's paid. It's automatically.
It's automatically. Oh, those are the most dangerous payments.
Yes. So maybe it's $200 at this moment. No, I thought it's about 20 or 25.
Is that all? And you can limitless prompts, or do you have a limit?
Not limited. I think 30 a day or something.
Oh, that's plenty.
But that's for me. It's enough.
Yeah.
And I also use it, for example, if I want to do a training. And now this is a little bit a gimmick, so I have to do a training about out-of-the-box recruitment.
Yeah.
So I asked the question: so can you give me 5 tips for out-of-the-box recruitment for this? For this target group, and then I show it to the people. So I say, there are some interested things I didn't think about, but most of the things, ChatGPT things, are already in the training, for example. But as a source, as a sparring partner, as an assistant, it helps you to make your job better. So for now, maybe I think for the following, for the next couple of years already, it's an assistant. And maybe the assistant is doing more and more for what you do now, but there's still a human touch.
Yeah, the human still to just keep the football analogy here. The human is still the manager, but you can use AI as the assistant manager.
Yeah. So content generation, you can also use it for employer branding, talent branding, and make analysis, for example, on your the posts you do, or the posts, the feedback, the mentions from people.
Yep.
You can do automated email campaigns.
Yep.
It helps you to write them for idea, but in this
Same
case,
applies,
it's the
yeah.
same as we just spoke. You have it. Also, an email has to have soul in it.
Has to have a human touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So what I did the past week or so, so I looked at, because we've covered ChatGPT extensively, but obviously there's more sort of recruitment related tools out there, and I did some sort of browsing online, and I found a couple of online, content tools for recruitment. So the first one that I found was Outreach Writer, which is an AI writer specifically designed for recruitment, and it can help you write recruitment emails, so specifically emails for recruitment, that target specific skills and qualifications to find the most qualified candidates. And it can then send an email to the best qualified candidates before other recruiters, to get in front of them basically, and provide email templates to invite candidates for interviews, and it helps draft personalized emails to inform candidates about being unsuccessful perhaps in getting recruited. So does it all probably in terms of outreach. I mean, it is what it says on the tin, right? Outreach Writer, but interesting one.
Yeah, there are a lot of. I'm really fan of appsumo.com.
Okay, yeah.
And appsumo.com is a place where you can find a lot of startups, which you can buy for a one-time fee. You can use the tool forever or until they're bankrupt, out of the business. So I buy a lot of those stuff to use, and it's sometimes $50, $60, and some of them we use a lot. Some of them we don't use. So I really like that, because often it's our early stage companies, so you have to give them a lot of feedback. It helps them to get their tool better.
So you're piloting it.
You're piloting. You help them to get launched.
Yep.
Another tool is Heli AI, which claims to be a recruiter's hiring ally. So ally assistant. It can effortlessly generate job descriptions and adverts, summarize resumes, write personalized emails, and create social media content. So the summarized resumes, that's something I did already, to hand in 2 resumes and to ask ChatGPT, can you mention the top 5 differences between these 2 resumes?
How right was it?
It was quite right, but if you got 5, what about the 6th and the 7th? So it's all about your prompt in it.
True.
And you still, it's the time it costs to make a good prompt, but of course you can save those prompts and reuse it.
Sure.
So that's what a lot of tools doing. They have some layer on top of ChatGPT, GPT-4, with a more nice look and feel to use, and then they use the ChatGPT or the GPT-4 technology to do those kind of comparisons, for example.
Yep. So another tool that we found is Jasper, and that's not me, nor is it as good as I am. But it sort of didn't take a while before an AI tool was named after me. Jasper's an AI content generator, interestingly enough, with more than 52 short and long form writing templates. So whether you're writing a personal bio, an Instagram photo caption, an Amazon product description, or a real estate listing, or anything recruitment related, basically, Jasper can help with content aimed at converting.
Yes.
I can too, by the way. I'm probably a little bit more expensive now. So might as well just use the tool, because you don't need me.
Well, it's the same name, so that's I
I
can't
was
have
annoyed.
problems with the name.
I was annoyed by that, to be honest. But
Who wrote this article? Jasper.
Jasper wrote
Which
this.
one?
Which one? No, we're not sure.
I can see the difference.
Hopefully,
in the future, maybe. So, we also have the 4th one is Kafka, the oldest AI content generator geared especially towards creating search engine optimization, SEO relevant content.
Yep.
So there are there's a lot of software like this SEO content helps you to get your content better ranked in search engines. So this one, the Kafka, but there are a lot of others currently office article writing in 37 niches: health, sports, dogs, SEO, software. Not recruitment technology.
Not recruitment.
No.
I didn't see recruitment. Could very well be, but I didn't. I
I
looked
think it's
briefly
not,
on the
not,
website.
no low hanging fruit.
No, I don't think so. And then finally,
Dogs are
dogs are. Yeah, maybe we should do a dog recruitment
Yeah.
website. Then would be
AI
Okay.
in dogs. No,
AI
that's
and
something.
dogs. That
Dogs
sounds
in
odd.
recruitment.
So there's a bunch more, right? But we'll do a last one for now. And if you've missed any of the company names, we'll have them covered in an article on the recruitmenttech.com.
Yeah,
fairly
would be
soon.
nice.
But the last one for now is AI copywriting tool WriteSonic, which aims to create copy that engages readers and leads to sales and traffic for business. It provides 2 content generator offerings. One selection of templates is specifically geared towards copywriters, with options for writing landing pages, sales emails, product descriptions, all of that good stuff, as well as checking for readability and correct grammar. So, and there's a lot of the latter part, like correcting grammar, readability. There's so many tools out there that I mean we use and everyone uses basically.
Yeah. Well, what I was preparing this podcast, I've got some update, I think, in my office, because now when I typed in some sentences, it's already giving me some
Suggestions
about the word.
Okay.
And that's something I didn't see earlier than now. So what? And of course, the ChatGPT is from Microsoft. They got they put a lot of money in it. So Google will use the Bard thing. So if you make an email, I think not in Europe, because we
not yet, no.
Not yet, but in the UK or the rest of the world, there it is already. So if you type, it helps you to make your Gmail's emails.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Hey,
I hear something.
I hear something.
Do you hear something?
Yes. ChatGPT News. Every episode has its own ChatGPT news segment, because the world of ChatGPT never stands still. What's your news, Jasper?
So mine is all about Japan, where I was 3 weeks ago. I've done a bit of traveling lately, and it is an awesome country. But anyway, so the news came out on Japan Today that Japan's education ministry plans to implement new guidelines instructing elementary, junior high, and high schools to ban students from using generative artificial intelligence like ChatGPT in exams. So the draft guidelines say generative AI should not be used in exams or by teachers when measuring students' academic performance. That's an interesting sentence. So not just the students, also the teachers, to be used freely without them knowing the tendencies and limitation of the technology. And it also said it's used to create poems or haiku, of course, in Japan, in artistic activities without giving careful consideration is very inappropriate. And I mean, I've learned some stuff about Japan in the past few weeks. And if a Japanese person says something is inappropriate, you best take it seriously, because that is a bad thing to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
How often did they say it to you?
Well, firstly, they saw me and they thought, wow, this guy's 1 meter, 84 centimeters, right? So he's a big, tall guy. That's inappropriate, because, and the most inappropriate thing I did in Japan, I talked while I was on the metro. And if there's one thing you shouldn't do in Japan, is talk to the guy next to you sitting on the metro, because everyone's just on their phone, got headphones in, earplugs in. Wow. No one's talking to each other.
Okay.
It's one of the unwritten rules of Japan. So don't talk on the metro, ladies and gentlemen.
You were very inappropriate.
Yeah, I was.
So my news is about robots and tomatoes, and I think it's what roboticist Cosima della Santina from Dutch Delft University of Technology.
Good pronunciation, yeah.
And his colleagues wanted to know, because if ChatGPT can be creative, can it design a useful robot? So that was the question. And they asked the AI chatbot what challenges humanity now faces. Okay. And then, through follow-up questions, had him design a robot that can pick tomatoes. So the design turned out to be perfectly capable of doing that. and they want to know whether the system can help someone who has yet to learn these kind of skills. So
Okay.
yeah, so and that's the thing. For now, we only give some short prompts,
Yeah.
not do a real conversation with for example, ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So it's a study, and it's in this case they use ChatGPT, but the study they do is more about AI in general. So maybe I should put this news also in the ChatGPT section. But the research they do, it's all about AI in general, and the ChatGPT is a tool which can be used for this.
I'm allowing it into the ChatGPT news area, so
Yeah,
you're okay.
So other news is about the lobby campaign of ChatGPT maker OpenAI. It has ensured that recently passed European AI legislation is more lenient on systems like ChatGPT. So in the weeks leading up to the vote, European lawmakers spoke to all sorts of figures from the AI industry. So we discussed it last time.
Yeah, Sam Altman.
Yeah. We discussed it already about the new legislation in Europe is coming. So all the people in Brussels spoke to a lot of people, also to OpenAI.
Yeah.
And Altman was clear. He thought European proposals were too strict and rapidly even threatened to leave the EU with ChatGPT if the rules went through. So, well, maybe it helps because it isn't that strict anymore.
Isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, it isn't as strict as we wanted to do. The systems like ChatGPT and DALL-E, which is also from OpenAI, which can generate text or images themselves based on a command. They can be used and aren't seen as. So we already spoke about recruitment. That's high risk.
High risk.
So it will be probably ranked as low risk, because it only the worst thing what can happen is fake news,
fake bad content,
or a fake
bad
image.
content, fake image. Yeah, well, they're all fake images, but okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that, so I'm surprised by this. That I mean, you always wonder what type of weight these tech entrepreneurs carry in a legislative world, and you read the stories about Zuckerberg and you read the stories about all these guys in the US, and you think, wow, the law is probably just sort of snugly fit around their needs and doesn't really prevent them from doing what they want. And it surprises me that Europe, which is seen and regarded widely around the world as a sort of strict, we're still quite strict compared to the US.
It is.
So we're not then, if this is what's going to happen. I'm quite worried about that, to be honest, because if that guy, that Sam Altman, says, right, no, we'll take ChatGPT Europe and you can't use it anymore. And Europe's like, oh no, don't take our bit of technology away. I mean, what? It's just stand for something, right? Just stand for something.
Yeah, but it really depends in Europe of technology, especially from the US. Look at Microsoft, Google, Facebook. It's all American.
Yeah, and for years, US technology has dominated the European technology segment. So, but I mean, we're getting into the legislative part again. I think we should try and get someone from Europe's AI legislation team on this podcast. That'd be great.
That would be.
Love to ask some questions.
So,
I think that's all for now, because
this is a short one or not?
It's not a short one at all.
Well,
59 minutes.
Okay, but that's perfect, because this is also perfect to listen to this in the summer break we have now.
If you're on the beach or you're walking somewhere, you're taking a hike
in a mountain, visiting some city.
Yeah, just listen to our podcast rather than listen to nature, because you've got 23 hours to listen to nature and then 1 hour to listen to our podcast.
And it's impossible to find a magazine, so you have to listen to our podcast. So sorry for that.
Yeah, so but thank you all for listening. And we're again, let us remind you that if you want to win the Recruitment Tech Award 2023 and or the AI in Recruitment Benelux Award 2023, please visit recruitmenttech.nl/awards and send in your case or tool no later than September 6th.
Yes.
And that's where we say, have a nice summer.
Yes. Adios.